And if I weren't, I couldn't. Anyway. As you know all too well, I am always asking, why do we come here? What do we think we're doing here? So you can imagine that Advent makes that question especially pressing, all this waiting, anticipating, and preparing. Why are we doing this again? Again? Well, thanks to Reverend Thomas and the good folk at Illustrated Ministry in our Advent Guide, I got a very nice answer for that. I have an answer to both of those questions that I like a lot. We come here, especially in the season of Advent, to practice and form the sacred habits that shape how we live, love, and imagine, underscored, living into God's dream for the world. We come here to grow together in the sacred practice of seeing beyond what is and moving toward what could be. To see and to move as co-creators of the world God dreams of. We come together to see and to move toward the world God dreams of. That's why we come here. And that is exactly why we do in Advent what we do over and over, year after year. When I want to be obnoxious and sound like I have all the answers, I will add this. And the church has no other good reason to be here. But I won't say that. Well, I might hint at it. If we're honest, most of us are so busy getting ready for Christmas, it's easy to forget old Zechariah. It's easy to forget about his angel messenger, and easy to forget about his song, or even to think of his song as just on the way to the main event. That's how I've mostly thought of it. Like the Christmas music we hear everywhere since July, we don't hear the words anymore, or what they may proclaim. We've got stuff to prepare, we're busy. But if we look at the song closely, we will see that it is a public announcement that the merciful love of God and the memory of God's faithfulness and the freedom and fearlessness it provides us is promised, and it's coming. We wait for it. It is a practice of imagination. It is a spiritual practice based on what we do not see now, but that God has promised. And it reminds us that God is faithful. People who are raised in these narratives, people who are raised in these disciplines, spiritual disciplines of the Christian life, see life through these stories. People like my parents. I have such mixed feelings about Christmas. It's not your birthday. Church people. So we didn't do much Christmasing. We did birthday cakes for Jesus. And you can imagine what that felt like as a child in this culture. Pilots call that wind shear. But my parents, crazy people what they were, when we fretted, my husband and I, that we would not be able to provide for our children, my dad would famously say, The God who provided for your parents and your grandparents in a segregated world in the heart of the Depression will provide for you. Parents and grandparents in that world who were college educated. Very unlikely. And all the while, my mother would sing in the background, "Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies." People who are formed in the promise and imagination of these stories are people like James and Rosamond Johnson, who wrote "Lift Every Voice and Sing," and who wrote in that second verse, "We have come over a way wherein tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, still now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of our white star is cast." People whose spirits are born, grown, raised, and nourished in the story of an aged couple chosen for the unlikely task of giving life to the one who would prepare the way for God's own skin in the game. People whose vision is shaped by the hope of heaven. The hope of heaven born in a cattle stall of a teenage mother, a carpenter husband, who would live in a backwater town that really had no significance whatsoever. All of these unlikely visions, all of them, born of the prophetic promise and the imagination of congregations like us. They are people who wait and pray and sing the song of God's dream for us, sing all the songs and the prayers and the promises and the prophecies. Will we rehearse these things? That's what we're doing here. We of the Christian faith. That's why we come here. No, the promise is not here yet. Christmas isn't here yet. But in a way that can only be believed with imagination, Christmas is already here. And not because you know it in the CVS and every other place you go. Christmas is already here. It's in our practice. And while we wait for the fulfillment of this promise, we help to bring the promise fulfilled. Like the fizzy water in the can. If you can imagine it, we can have it. If we can imagine it, we can have it. Amen.